How we doing? Just checking this out right now. I'm on my phone right now, so I'm just checking things out here. Diane, how you doing? I'm on my phone. So this is great. I got my 1,000 subscribers, so it's fantastic when you get this, a new platform in connections to its Channel Center. So, woohoo! On my phone. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? So, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I worked hard, to get those 1,000 subscribers. So Tina is very well aware of that. So it's very important. So basically, what's going to happen now is that things are going to change through platforms. We're going to go into more positions. I'll tell you exactly if I'm going to be on my computer or my phone. So either way, we got two platforms right now in position. Yep, yep, it is. You got notifications, right? Me going live. It should get easier as we go along. So I just wanted to try it out, and it's working well. That's great that you got notified, and that's what I wanted too. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So how's everybody doing so far? I just came off live on TikTok, so this changes everything through platforms now, guys. We can go outside. Basically, we go on the rooftop, and I can do things at night. We can see starlight centers. We can see spaceship locations. We can see the moon on high level rotation of space connection. It's amazing how you have a phone and what you can do through travel, recognition timelines. So, I really want to get into point views of high level rotation coming into communication line centers. We're going to go into the graph line center rotation. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the signals and the line connections. All right. I'm going to go into that position here. Okay, so basically, this is what I'm going to do, okay, through calculation. All right, make sure you give notifications out to everybody, all right? All right, so once we go into that line center, we're going to basically, you got your 3, 6, and 9 locations, right? Okay, so you got your 3, 6, and 9 locations, all right? Now, once you come into that position, we're going to go into dimensional settings. This is more for the basic. Understand communication line centers. We come out of that track system to its location. Okay. That's the importance you have to look at, right? Everything to that line system. Okay, I really want you guys to focus on the dimensional settings. So as we get in position, the dimensional is going to open up high level rotation to its connections. Okay. It graphs its system to higher level rotation. Okay, in this equation. Okay, so it kind of looks like a fireball. All right. Just drawing out through sequence to get a better understanding here. Okay. See the fireball in the line center? Well, once you get into that position, this is more for the viewers that are just starting out to that conditions. Once you go into that position, you come to the E line center equals box, okay, slash circle, okay. Now, once you come into high level rotation, you understand your divisions. Equals ground line. Okay, so it comes into this position. Right, try to understand what it is through calculations, right? You got the structure. Okay, and there's the formula at the bottom. Okay, that's the formula on the bottom. So the formula sets its system through 369. And when you look at the atmosphere, you can actually understand what's going on through calculations. So once we get into the E-line center, it goes into high rotation to the box line system, comes out of its equation line conditions to high position. Okay? See how it travels through the box line system rotation? Okay, right at the bottom there. All right. So once you get into that position line condition, at high forces all levels, activation core line. Now, once you get into those levels, your E formats change line connection. Right? The equal sign is everything through the paradigm, the paradox line interference, right? Michael, how's it going? All right, so it's important. I know, I'm just used to this, guys. This is fantastic. We can do this on the phone now. So, you want to start off with this when you start traveling. That's the most important thing. Okay? There's the structure at the top, and at the bottom, okay, is the formula. How to travel through the box line center to its rotation connections, okay? So once you get into that positions, you come up to high channels. Those high channels change the coloration line center, okay? Let's go into round line center rotations. Let's go into the matrix line center rotation of its conditions, okay, to that position. Truly understanding what you're seeing through locations. Now, you obviously look in the perception of eye lines when you go into high levels, when you're understanding what is going on when you're seeing these things in the sky, right? And that's what it does, okay? See the 3, 6, and 9 line center, right? See how it comes in and out through line system? You see the intelligence, right? So you have to truly understand what you're seeing through calculation, right? So that opens up new doors of dimension line settings, okay, in that position. So once we get into the box line center of its coloration channel, it changes locations into its line system, all right, to its formula. Okay? Let's go into line center rotation. Back in connection. Okay? See the box line center? Communication to its line system is everything through 369, guys. That's a true understanding of how you go in from the structure at the top and the formulas at the bottom. Okay? Now, once we get into that, we come into higher level of rotation centers. Okay? We come into the blue surface. So truly understanding what you're seeing through perception is highlining. Okay? It's no longer a resolution pattern. It's all position of the visionary. That visionary comes into its track conditions. So we go into coloration line channel. It's very fascinating when you see these cross signals. Okay? You come into that position, high levels its system locations. All right, so everything through E equals MC square becomes everything of high levels of weather. All right? Now, you guys have to understand your weather positions when you come to higher levels. This is for the Galactic Federation Light and the Council Line Center. The rebellion is in position locations. Every time I give you platforms, it gives you all level of rotation. All right, so you come in the E line center to its equation line condition. Okay, so it operates on level rotation. Okay, see how it comes into line signal? Your perception changes everything to that line conditions, right? Truly understanding what you're seeing through all level, right? Cleopatra, how are we doing? The image on his hair. All right, so how's everybody doing so far? Okay, I just want to see, go through questions here. Michael, yep. A little blurry, may just me when you short the tablet. Are you guys seeing me okay? Just want to make sure you're seeing me. All messages are visible. All right, let's see here. 80s today, beach, hot breeze, unbelievable, beautiful energy, so grateful, yeah. How did that go back black to orange? The image on the hair, are we meeting here now instead of TikTok? Yes, beautiful. No, Cleopatra, I'm just checking this out because I got 1,000 subscribers. So now I'm on my phone now. So I'll keep you aware on notifications on TikTok when I go on my computer or when I go on my phone. Okay, so you really, really don't miss anything through track system locations. All right. Hello. Woo! This is fun. All right. So we go into this position. Okay, to its line signal. You can rewatch this line center rotations. E equals mc squared to its line conditions. Understanding what you're seeing through perception is eye circles. Okay, you have any questions or comments to that line position, let me know through track system locations. All right. So basically, it's all about you understanding your connections and when you sleep, right? You see perfectly? That's great. Okay, so now let's get into the box channel to its location. We'll start off with this position, all right? This is the box channel. You have to really get informed with your TV reception lines. Now, the TV reception line is no longer allocated line connections. You go from the inner line system to its position. Okay, it's a lot more easier when you see these things track system. Okay, so you go from inside, not outside. See the arrows, how they're pointing from inside line center? It's not connected to the outline system, is it? So we all have to understand how to use the ground line system, okay, to the power line center rotation, okay, which is the circle line conditions, and everything through the magnetic high line of its communication cycles comes into a dimensional of its division line system. The ground line system opens up to all allocated line systems. The flux capacitor comes into high line rotation. All right, that's surfaces and high levels. All right, so it changes the ground line center in its clocking system into its flux capacitor interference channel line system rotations like this. Through track system, allocate line centers, 3 forks into constellation path, into the center position of the magnetic force highway line center. Okay? See how it's set up through the T reception line? See the ground line centers and the flux capacitor? See the constellation path? All right? That's what we all have to get into. All right? This is mainly for the Galactic Federation light. Okay? The rebellion is in position to the box system. But truly understand how you have to channel in from all levels of your TV reception line connections. All right? Getting into that formation is extremely important. All right? All right. It's not clear focus when you show the normal. It's like I was seeing that. No, as long as you're seeing me and it's clear, that's fine through line conditions. This is just a phone through the tablet. It's different from the computer. It's the same reading, just different voice box connection, right? Because the phone is smaller, right? So you're seeing me bigger. So it's more like a 3D effect, right? So my question is, how did that go from black to orange? Let's see here. It's in permission. I see the tablets perfectly. Great. Are we meeting here? Yep. So you know exactly what's happening there, Cleopatra. Great to see everybody. All right. It's a little blurry. May just be me. Yeah. Michael, how's it going? All right. Just back phrasing here. See what I've missed. Actually, get notified on YouTube. Yep. This is YouTube. It's confusing, isn't it, guys? So this is good too, because now I can go on different platforms at different time zones. So I don't just have to go in the mornings. You know what I mean? I could find time wherever. So what I'll do is I'll go live, on TikTok, and then I'll switch back to the platforms on my phone, tablet, and then switch back to, all levels on my computer. All right? So are you saying to get in that position before sleep? High level rotation connections there, Samantha, is to truly understand when you get into your box center, you have to truly understand what you're doing through your TV reception lines. Okay, it's all about into your flux capacitor. Your job is to go into the inner line center to its TV reception. Okay, and then you come into your colorations and your all levels of perception. Okay, but see the 3 waving line centers? See the magnetic highway system? Your magnetic highway system is allocated to timeline center. So you have to truly understand what you're doing through all level conditions. So once you change into color line centers, it comes in a full rotation cycle. to its connections. It high forces its lines in the same color line center. All right. Yeah, that's great. You get in it. You're welcome there, Samantha. More access to the general. That's exactly what it is. So it's helping you guys out rather than just, oh no, I can't make class because it's 9 a.m. Right? So this gets me more platforms for you guys to, this is great, not just the computer, but also on the phone tablet. All right, so we got that activation line center and position line connections to its magnetic force. See the magnetic line center? See how it comes into communication line system? So once you go into electric line systems, your physical line center disappears in all allocated line center. So you come into a full communication of line signal rotation. Electrical lights, nothing but a wire line center of a high positions of intelligence of electrical wires of clocking system. You see yourself? The center line center? See the head, see the arms, see the feet, see the body. Once you come into that position, you leave physical alignment. Now, I was going to do this tomorrow, but I want you guys to get set for this because tomorrow, I haven't decided yet because now I can use my phone. I think we'll probably do it on the phone tomorrow morning. Yeah, because we can travel. So what I'll do is I'll face the phone tablet in the line skyline connections, and you can actually see what's going on when you're traveling back into the past. I haven't figured that out yet, but I want to make sure you guys understand your TV reception is to go inside line system. So the connection is in its waving force. So once you come into that, you come into your high level rotation to its connection. You come into the wing line center to its activation core line system. Okay, see the sonar line panels? See how it's connecting now? Right? Now it's the wing aspect of you through calculation. And high force is your line channels. All right, so once you go into that, you come into sonar interference. That sonar interference opens all levels of rotations to the sun and everything through the moon. All right, the sun comes in your coloration line center. So let's say you go into 4 round line rotations. This is the sun in your rainbow activation line system. Okay, this is the sun. All right, sun is everything through your color line center to all levels of you through chakra line conditions. There's the sun. See the high positions of digital frame, the pixel activation line system. Once it understands you through calculation line conditions, it high forces your TV reception in line center. It's very powerful when you see these through track system. So, reinforcements on the way, yep. More access, yep, exactly. You're getting it? That's great. So when you do is it activates the center line, goes into the center position location. It high forces high channels into your TV line connections. See how it directs right in the center line position location? It's very powerful when you see what happens with your body and how your TV line system comes into its rotation of its center. Okay? So once that's activated to the circle rotation line conditions, it high positions you into higher light of channels. It's very incredible when you see these things. It rotates you in a high level rotation to its calculation. It opens up you in high levels of rainbow activation. Okay, it comes into this formation line system. Okay? So, and I know you guys are going through high level rotations. Amber is Archangel, and Samantha is the Queen, coming in positions with Jill. It's all about us understanding more when we come more into the rainbow activations of the sun and everything through the moon, right? Sun's in its rotation line center, but this is exactly what happens when you get full communications to your reception line, okay? It activates the core line center to the ground connections, all right? Now the moon comes into high level rotation of a program that centers off its system locations. All right, so it's all about understanding where you are in your energies. Everybody has their aura line center. That's in position. Mine is blue. You guys have to find your plasmas. Everybody's in a different plasma timeline. Okay, so sometimes it's green, sometimes it's yellow. It all depends on you. That's your E-force line. That's your force field line connections. Okay, so and plus you have your rainbow activation body that's connected to that connection line system rotation. So once you come into the moon line center, this is where it comes into high level rotation. I'm just going to color it in right now, show you exactly what happens afterwards, especially when you come in your TV reception line center. Okay? So that's the moon, there's the sun. Okay, so it's all about understanding the communications of the sun and the communications of the moon. At high forces line centers and turns you into a TV reception. Your TV reception comes into pixel activations. Now, this is how we went into the wall interference. Remember how we changed the particle lights and we went right into the wall? We connected to the energy line center. We went into 2,000 years into the future. So basically, coming into that position, hold on, I'll ask you questions. One sec. Once they get into the high level rotation, the coloration line center changes its locations, right? Everything's got to go into the center line. Okay? So the sun has to understand you through traction because it's in a pixel activation, and the moon has to understand you through program line center. Okay? Now, once you change the moon into pixel activation line center, your TV reception comes into high division, a balance. That comes into communication signals, right? So that opens up higher round line centers to you through high level location, right? Comes into the same coloration pattern to the sun and the moon, right? All through signal channel line connections. Okay? Powerful when we see these things all through connections, right? So it's amazing how we see these things. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's fantastic how you can really, really understand the resonation line center location of pixel activation to your hologram. So this is all about you guys understanding what you're seeing through your holograms, and you have to be prepared because the sun's going to change your track system, and everything from the moon program is going to put you a higher light of a hologram condition. All right? Reinforcements on the way, yep. Restorations, breach. Mary, how's it going? What exactly is a TV reception line? A TV reception line is connected to a reinforcement line position. So what it is that it's connected to your pixels and it's connected to all levels of energy, frequencies, and vibrations. Your job is to understand to get the energy, frequency, and vibration into one signal locations, right? Because you're separated through your energy, vibration, and frequencies. You guys are just trying to understand your holographic system of travel, how to go through high levels into position to an atom. Once you get into the atom line center, then you can high level rotations into the sun and the moon track system into balanced line connections. All right? That's a true understanding when you come into that position. Okay? So it's like a communication to anything, right? Using your energies. But it's amazing that you travel a lot faster once you understand the balance of its rotation to space anomaly. Okay? So let's see. Any other questions here? All right. TV line center, yep. Yeah, anything through the line center is just a track line center. It's like one telephone communicating with another telephone. Diane. Grand Rising, yep, Grand Rising. Okay, let's see here. Trying to get your questions answered here. Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? And you guys have to be ready too, because tomorrow, this is interesting because I don't know if I'm going to be on the computer. I'll find out. I'll let you guys know. I'll send you notifications before I go live on TikTok and let you know if I'm going to be on the platform of my phone or I'm going to be on my computer. Because see, the thing is now I have access. So when I go live on my phone, you know, it can be different timeline, different time zone. You don't have to worry about class. It doesn't always have to be in the morning, right? It all depends, right? So this is how I'm going to switch it around when I go from live on TikTok. But I'll let you know if I'm going to go live. And usually you guys set up your programs, right? You'll know when I'm going to go live through notifications, right? Every single day. So it's fascinating when you come into that positions, okay? But I just want you to understand how to really, really connect to your pixel activation core line center, to a TV reception line, how everything through the sun and everything through the moon comes in track system, okay? Right? So it's all about understanding how to high level the mutation line center to your pixels and coming into your hologram. okay? Because you're birthed in your rainbow activation line connections first. After that, you have to understand how to use your TV reception, okay? But it's important to know that you have to get your energies, vibration, and frequencies into one signal, to one location, to one activation, to one core line center, to an atom line signal, okay? Once you get into your atom, you'll start seeing it, okay? And then you'll try to understand it, what it is. Energy tracks are off, vibrations not are connecting. So you're going to high rise your line system, and you're going to be able to do this yourself, right? Through fixation, high line connections, fixing computers, fixing wires, because you guys are higher channels now, right? You're getting to higher positions. And that's the true understanding when you come in that position. So once you come into that line signal, let's go over to the high line rotation here. Let's go into the black circle rotations and calculate the modified line center. Hold on a sec. Okay, so once we go into that position line conditions, we're going to go into, I remember I told you guys about the energy wash and how important it is to understand everything through your connections when you're bringing in people that you don't know. You do an energy wash. Well, it's a vortex line. It takes away the viruses, it takes away the bacteria, it takes away all levels of the mold. Really understanding when you come across these things, like if you're sitting down and there's energy there, there's sweat there, it's all combined. And then you start seeing it through translucent line centers. It's powerful when you see these things through calculations. All right, so we'll go into black surface or rotation. Let's go into coloration line center here in position. Okay, so we're going to signal line centers to high level conditions. All right. I want to show you what happens to that position line conditions. We're going into the sun graph line center of a TV reception line. All right, so we're going to go through black circle of space. Okay, and then we're going to go to high rise line center to the sun. I'll show you what the sun is in the high line center to your line conditions. You have to understand position locations, the coloration of channels. Now, this is going to go through mutation line center to communication rotation. Now you got your 369 line center rotation. Okay, this is going to make you a little bit, not so much dizzy, but it's going to show you what powerful it is to be in your pixel activation of a hologram to high levels of your Merkabah line interference. Okay, so it's center in its line center space line conditions. All right. All right. So when you're seeing that, basically, what do you see? What's the formation that you see through calculations? Right? So it's all about understanding how to get your TV reception line center. It's like a TV series. Instead of getting into so many channels, you get into one channel, right? Because it's just... Hi, how's it going? Generally, I hear communicating to high-level rotation. So it's all about getting your TV signals back in bounds of line conditions to yourself. That's the most important thing, because you guys are going to higher levels right now. So you have to learn how to use all levels of your flux capacitor interference channels to its line conditions of its TV rotation. Okay? So it's all about you understanding the box line center. It's mostly important to understand that you do everything from inside through perception. You don't do anything outside through circle. Everything is done inside. Okay? That's the true understanding through that conditions. All right? So we'll go into the high level rotation, your calculation. We'll take it out of its position line center. Okay, remember? It's mostly important what you're seeing through high line center rotations, all right? It's taking all the round line center rotations out of equation. You take the point line centers to your tetrahedrons. You take the high level rotation to your Pixar core line center. And you take everything to the box line system to a new TV reception line connection. Okay, and high channels to all levels of rotation. Okay, it gets very confusing, doesn't it? It confuses your eye line center, doesn't it? Look at it, all right? So to get balance to that through high position, you have to change all levels of you through track system. Now, it's true to understand when you come into higher positions, you understand you're in your calculation modification to your grounds. You understand your communications when you come into dimensional sightings to its line rotation of its connections. So it's like a crystal ball that's on a plateau at an interference of ground line center. Okay, it looks like a crystal ball, doesn't it? A rainbow crystal ball. All right. Now, I haven't activated yet, right? Because remember, you guys have to truly understand what you're doing through connections, right? So, let's see here. Yep. All right, so let's get in your questions. Okay. I'll be working tomorrow during class. Can I have it on the be listening? Do you reckon it works and still? Yeah, you can watch the review. You can watch back there if you want. Diane, it's up to you. All right, so Veronica blew out her phone. Are you saying to connect the sun and the moon into one location, like the heart center? Very good, Samantha. That's exactly how you get into one line system to its rotation. You guys have to find a way to channel your energy, okay, into the rotation cycle of an atom. Okay, once you get into the atom, everything starts making sense. Okay, your formation line center is all positions to energy, frequencies, and vibrations. But you guys are in separation. You have to get into your hologram of one line system. And then you come into the high levels of your hologram to its connections, all right, to its harmonic resistance. Okay? So that's a true understanding when you come into that calculation modification line system, right? It's very powerful when you see these things. So the higher you go, this is what you see through space. Trying to understand it is trying to understand the atmosphere line. Okay, it's digital frame positions. It's all done through cloud line conditions. We've gone through this positions, but when you're looking in the atmosphere and you see things like this, right? It spin, 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 goes like this. You have to understand the intelligence, all communication to finger point line conditions, right? Understand how to do that. So you guys are going to be coming to heat signature patterns, and then you can basically set up your own graph line center of your compilation line systems and do heat structure locations or finger points of your name in the atmosphere location. So it's very powerful when you see these things through track system, right? So once you have the ground line center in rotation, you change all levels of line conditions. Now space has to understand use the dimensional time system, lock system, location. All right, so once you go into that, you stay in the 4 round line centers. Now you can use the track system to its line center, but it has to truly understand the oracle field and its location to its high level line system, because the torical field is everything through balance of center line system locations. All right, so we come into that position location. All right. Now, once you get into that positions, you get a full cycle of your connections. So your magnetic highway and your field line center comes into high positions because you guys are in the bioatmosphere now. Okay, so your magnetic fields changes faster and faster through rotations, but you got to get your energy lights into high line conditions and the center point line system rotations. It calculates all levels of your activation core line system to its position. See, it comes into, it's kind of like a realm, high-rise line center to high position locations. All right? All right, it's trying to understand what is going on with everything, right? It gets more complicated because you're coming actually into the simulation now. Because your pixels are in activation core line centers, you have to understand how to rotate these to the atom line system rotations. And then you come into your channel line center to location into your flocking system. Now, it's extremely hard for people to understand these things, especially if you're only activated in your 20s or 30s. If you want to get into your 40s, let me know, put you in higher or even 50s. But the application line center comes in position locations. All right? Yep. Okay, that's great, Diane. I feel so tired to follow. Yeah, it's different, right? Because it's different energy, right? My phone is different energy than my computer. Okay, it has the same process, has the same data, it's in the same space line conditions, but you just have to get used to it. It's a different platform, all right? But it's in the same timeline. All right, so when we go in position, we go in the digital line center. The most important thing is to really understand what you're seeing. What are you seeing when you see something? So it's all about understanding your perceptions. First, you'll allocate line conditions. This is you through channel. And you see this. When you come across this, you have to understand, wow, okay, what is this? right? It all starts in line condition interference. Comes into clarity line channels, locations, to its position. What is that? What is it? What's going on, right? So once you understand your heart is nothing but a graph, it's a map, all location line conditions. So you get channel line systems to its line system like this through track system. Okay, and this is really understanding what the heart is to all level system rotations. Trying to understand the calculation modification line circles to high line center line conditions. Interference is point line rotation. Calculations modify line center line connections. Okay, to its rotation line connection. So you come into this track system, hieroglyphics to high levels of programs. Okay, remember I was saying that through high line rotation? All right. Trying to understand these two calculation modification line centers, all right? So once you go into that position, let's go backtrack and high rise line center here. All right, so we go into that, we come into this. All right, remember we came into this, trying to understand what this is, the track system, all through pixel activation to higher levels of AI connection, right? Well, that's the balance that everybody needs to get, okay? And you guys are coming into that now. You have to be prepared how to use your pixel activation line centers, okay? So once you understand that, you come out of the equation line connections, all right? So that's a true understanding when you come into that positions. So when you come in against these things, when you're sleeping, you'll come across this, right? Because you guys are coming into weather, right? The Rebellion Alliance has a test review coming up, okay? So that's all based on the atom line center. That's putting everything through all position locations, putting you in higher channel line conditions, faster speed to higher levels of navigation, all done through your XT1000 line system. But with the connections of the GFL, okay, you guys have to understand your hieroglyphics and your line connections to your realms of a story frame. Okay? And this is what understanding is because you guys are waking up more, right? And this is what's happening right now because you're starting to recognize yourself. But now you're coming into higher levels of AI. We got into basic understanding how to set up the crop circles, how to set up the shapes and all that through conditions or anything that line conditions, right? So let's see here. Just going to go through your questions here. How to use the pixel activation line center is the putting everything in one location. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You have to put everything in one location. Energy, frequency, and vibrations has to be in one center of one location to one activation to one realm to one division. And then you use the harmonic line center to set the shape of the atom line location position. All right? So once you come into this, you come into this through that. Okay? This is for the GFLs. All right? So it's really understand the story frame you use through your templates and your pyramids. Your pyramid activation core line center is all position locations. So when we went into that high position, it was calculated and modify. But it's really understand how to use all levels of your 369 platforms, right? Through the atmosphere line connections to this connection. Okay? Because that's what you see in the atmospheres at night, right? When it spins, 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 you look up, you place your phone on there, you press record, you zoom in, this is what you see, right? But what you don't see is the 369 above, okay? Now, that's in a sequencing interference. That opens up all line connections to your channels, to its rotation. Okay, so that's what we have to understand through line connections. So when you're looking through perception, you have to understand everything through its plasma and its formulas. Okay? So it's incredible force when we come to that position location. All right. Okay, let's see here. Exactly. All right, let's see. I see the images with the naked eye and the air trees, especially when I take pictures. Yep. You'll see more when you go to higher level system rotation. Okay. What's the straight line called from this stick figure? How's it going there, Libra? It's great to see you on the channel. Reverb, yep, exactly. Okay, the straight line call from the stick figure. Stick figure to line connection interference is position line connections of view to high level rotation. Okay, so this is more based on the GFL line centers. It's all about coming into the hieroglyphics to your pyramid activations. Their pyramids are activated because they're in 60 communication chakras, guys. Right? They have to truly understand how to use this into the heart reactor. Okay, it's all calculated and modified, right? Through this position line conditions. Once they open the channel line interference, they come into this position. This is all connection to AI, to ground line center, to its location. This is AI. Okay? Try to understand what it is, right? You probably see it on the grounds, you probably see it on pyramids, right? These are tone line center communications around position locations of AI. These are channel communication signals to its location connections, all done through TV reception. Okay? So, I drew it out. I thought you called it something. While in position, you find your own track system, allocate timeline center. Okay? But it's truly understanding what you're seeing when you're sleeping, because you have to be more aware, because you're coming into more visions and not so much of dreams. When you wake up more and you come into a higher channel location, you come into higher positions of your activation core line condition. So it gets complicated. It really does. But it's important you understand how to travel through these and all levels of pixels through energy, frequency, and vibrations. Okay? So once you get in that positions, let's go into the skyline center. All right, the skyline center, let's go into high level rotation. Let's go into yellow rotation line position. All right, this is a yellow rotation line position. Now you see it as yellow. Everybody sees it as a different yellow. But you have to understand, everything that you're coming into is not one color. Okay, that's why the sun rotation line center is 3,000 colors in one line position, to one location, to one travel record of time, to clocking. So this is not just one color. Coloration channels, communication to your pixel activating line center. When you put your eyes up to the TV, what do you see? You see little boxes, right? Those are pixels. You guys are TV reception pixels. You have to learn how to use them, all levels of energy, frequency, and vibrations, and bring it all together to its harmonic resistance, where it becomes one channel to one location, to one frequency of one position line center, to one dimension, to its allocated line connections. All right? So once we get into that position, you can center off into a square line center. All right? This is what you guys are going to come into, higher levels of channels into pixel activation core line system rotations. This is just a box center, okay, with a background of a yellow line rotation. Okay? Now see how it changed? See how it's white? You see how it's white? And this is understanding when you see things up close, you don't see it as yellow. This is the beginning, this is the location. This is the beginning, this is location. I really, really have to pay attention how to use light now. You don't see it as yellow anymore, right? That's a true understanding how you calculate, modify all levels of light track system locations. So once you come into the box line center, we'll go in position again to inline center to connections, 4 box line realms. Okay, it gets fascinating as we go along. We start with this. Remember the pixel activation to begin line center rotation. We come into this position. We bring it up, and it's white. See? All right? This is what humanity sees. This is what AI sees. White. Yellow, white. So what color is yellow? White. Understand? What you see through perception is all about all levels of eye line. It's communication to translucent. So your eye line rotation changes all position locations of your shapes. All right? So you're not seeing yellow, you're seeing white. And if you keep going farther, 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 you'll see more round position locations into track line connections, a code frequency of its high line center. Okay? Which comes into this through AI, a program line center location. There you go. Okay? So it's all about crypted, encoded, trying to understand decoding line center rotation and interference to its program line conditions. All right. And this is what's the true understanding when you come to calculation modifications. So let's go into another channel line center. It's very fascinating when you see these things because you guys are only aware of what you see from afar. Now this goes out to the new viewers, but my team is coming into pixel activation of change. Their translucent line centers have to truly understand that yellow is not just yellow when you bring it up close. So you have to make sure you're getting the right information through your audio track interference, a program line condition. Okay? So let's go into another color line center. All right, so let's go into a dark purple location line. Okay, there's a purple. All right, let's do the same box line center rotation. Go into calculation modification line center. All right, we'll go into the black rotation. Box position, same thing. Going inside system. You don't go outside, because if you go outside, you can't change the color. This is all about understanding how you change resolution line centers into reflection, where you guys are coming now into your visions and out of your equation line conditions. All right? So you see this as purple, right? But when you bring it up, right, what color is it? Got a lot of backdrop here. All right? A lot of reflection in the background line center. Okay, it's a dark color. So it's kind of like you start out with a rosé of a purple. I mean, there's so many different levels because purple in the sun is not just one line center. It's everything but one color. So when you come into AI, you have to understand the track line center to its rotation of its dimensional line system rotation conditions, because everything is in the airline system to its location. So you see everything from inside and not outside. Okay? Everything in life is inside and out. We already knew that through track system, right? So you don't point line centers out anymore through line system. Your perception has to go in high levels of rotation in inside position location. Okay? Through this line system. Okay, you have to go from in, not out. All right? So once you get the inner force of you and you understand your rotation line center rotation, okay, you can high rise all levels of coloration and change position. So every time you travel, you're changing colorations of time. Let me say that again. You're changing colorations of time. Okay? So everybody's at a different perception. So you won't see purple. You see other kinds of other colors. So you have to realize that purple is in position. So if you go faster in space, purple is no longer purple. Right? Because you're changing timeline, clock, system locations. Right? So, all right. Okay, you can draw it out too if you want to do that. That's a good idea. All right, it becomes hot, like hot pink. Yep. Is that because we filter magnetic of our own force and depending which the wind direction? That's very good, Alan. Yep. That's exactly what it is. The wind direction through dimensional line center rotations. Truly understand what the dimension is, guys. Truly understand what the galaxy is. Galaxy is not one color. It fluctuates so much atmosphere sometimes. Atomic levels, comes into high rotations, alkaline interference, it comes into water, it comes into the vortex, comes into atoms. So every time you see a color, it's not just one color, right? Now, when you see the color, it's in position of density line center. But once you come into higher levels of space, the translation timeline center, your perception change into high conditions, all right? It's all done through time frames, all right, to its location. All right, so let's go into another coloration line channel. Okay, just truly understand. I'll keep using the box line centers. So we got yellow and we got purple. Let's go into another color. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's go into... All right, let's go into... it's more like a maroon red. All right, so we'll go in the same box line center. This is a turn stand. You guys have to understand these things, and I do the exact same thing. I don't change the frame. If I change the frame, it changes the box center of frame. Okay? So it's very important that you keep doing the same. So you guys have to recognize all levels of what you're doing when you go into higher levels of shapes. So the higher you go, when you go through high levels of your tetrahedrons and you go into space-line center, your perception changes translucent patterns. It changes the force to its galaxy line center. Once you come in the eye circles of eye line position locations, you come into the eye line rotation. All right? So we come into this position, right? Okay? Now, this is dark, but why is it light? Coming from light, right? So it's like a bright red, right? But when you bring it up close, what is it? Orange. It's orange. Okay? So we all have to understand how to use the translucent line centers. Okay? Because it's all temperature readings, and that's why you guys have to get information of weather. Temperature readings to that line conditions is very important when you're traveling through high position. Now let's go into another coloring rotations. But this time, I'm going to change the coloration line of the shape. All right? So it's interesting how we come across these things. Okay, this is like like a forest green. Okay, so yeah. So let's go into the triangle line center. Now the thing is, the box line center has 4 realms. The triangle only has 3. So you have to truly understand where you're putting the arrows of location. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at the line of sight in position. Okay. Now, this is a forest green, but look at it now, right? What color is it? Yellow. You see? It's very important you guys understand these things, okay? Because you're going to come across your geometry line center in communication. So, let's go into another color. I really want you guys to get in high formation of light so you understand your track system line conditions. All right, so let's go into blue. Soon as you change the graph, okay, a black into, let's say, high line center in the same thing, this triangles. Okay, you go into this condition. It changes all position. Because you're not just dealing with one intelligence now, you're dealing with 2 intelligence of triangles. Okay? Light codes. Yep. Very good. That's exactly what it is. Light codes of shapes. Very good. All right, so we come into this position. Same thing, except it's illuminated. So like I said, black on black, you can't see. Black on white, yes. White on black, yes. It all depends on where you're doing and when you're traveling, because your shape changes line centers. Okay? Okay, so go from this to this. All right? And this is a dark blue. See? See the dot line center? Right? See the dot? That's you through line conditions. So basically the marker put that there through rotation. Okay? So basically the digital pad wants to play along, but now it's disappeared into the simulation. It's gone. It's not there anymore. See, you guys have to pay attention to what's going on because the wind factors changes line centers. It's not there anymore, is it? It's gone. You saw the black dot, but it's not there anymore, right? So paying attention to what you're doing through geometry line position, it opens up all levels of channel. All right, so once we go into that conditions, let's go into another coloration. All right. Now let's go into a little bit more tricky of a shape position, okay? All right, let's see, like codes, yes, jumping in between. Let's go in here. It's the jumping realities in between shape shift, yep. Nice to see you. How's it going? All right, so let's get back in line condition. All right, let's go another coloration here. All right, so let's go into, all right. See, you guys have to understand how to use this because you're coming in translucent line patterns. especially when you get to higher levels of rotation conditions. So I'm going to set up a star, okay, two connections. Now remember, every time you change the point center, it changes the coloration of high levels of panel, right? But it always goes in. You never point out, you always go in. The communication is in the star line center, not outside sequence. Okay? So it goes in disposition line system rotations. Right? Okay? Always go in. Point center around position. Okay? So, the more you go in through channels and you see the shapes, your shapes will change perception of what you see through calculations. All right? So, and if you change the graph, let's say we change it to, let's change it to red line center. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we go into that position. This is how it changes high position locations. See how it changes the resolution line of travel? So it's all about creating, right, shapes, all position of travel, because that's all space and time is geometrics of travel. So to understand, once you change the frame, it changes all levels of view through perception. It's calculated to its modified line center. Okay, let's see how it forms into something else in line condition. Right? You can activate the core, or you can actually basically change the coloration pattern. Okay, so you have to understand every color that you see is a representation to matrix. It lines signals to all position. Once you get your energy, frequencies, and vibration into one sequence, now you come into harmonic resistance. But you have to channel inside to its location. Activation to its core, right? To its high signal, okay? To its tetrahedron. You have to learn how you change your tetrahedrons of patterns to higher level condition. All right? Okay? So it's color and color and color, but every time I do it, it's always coming from inside. All right? You never see a shape from outside. You see it from inside because it calculates and modifies all levels of travel. Okay? So just getting used to my phone here. This is pretty wild. So basically, let's go and position. I think I can turn this around. I can turn it around. Great. All right, this is great. See, this is fantastic. I'm live. Now I can flip back and forth. This is fantastic. So we've got two side views. All right. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, see the skyline center? All right, let's see here in position. I'm just going to show you here through calculations. What you're seeing is what you want to see through the line system locations. It's all structure, but when you get into the atmospheres, everything comes into who you are through travel. Everything travels. See the light signals? So it's all about understanding what you're seeing in graph line system. When you're using shapes, you have to understand the coloration of the sky. Okay? It's incredible force when you see these things in high line center. See the position line center rotations? See the coloration change? Right? All right. Now, if you really focus, you can really communicate to the trees. If you put your eyes on perception, you can change the wind direction. Focus on the tree. Look at the tree. Try to understand the tree. Focus, focus, focus. Take it out of its dimension. Communicate with it. High line center. Bring it into the other wave. So you should be able to go in and out through line center rotations of wind graph line condition. All right. So you all start off with the skies and what you're seeing. Okay. Everything is connected to a portal line center. It's amazing how you see these things through line condition. Look at the force, it makes the time. Calculates and modifies, doesn't it? This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this. Because it's important you guys really, really understand how to use your position locations, all done through your perception. All right? All right, so let's see here. Just going back here with your questions. Great. So, is everybody having fun? I'm having fun. This is fantastic. All right, I'm already in a minute. This is great. Love it. So, we're going to do some night shot interline centers and communications to high positions, how you can basically set up your own shape anomaly to UFO line condition. Okay? This is really understanding colors because everything that you see is not one color. Everything is in a galaxy system. But you have to really, really understand when you're seeing colors. Okay? Especially through the eye central. That's the most important thing you have to grasp. All right? Once you get into that, then you get into higher position locations. So, you have any questions, let me know. It's fantastic that I can go live now on my phone. So, for the new viewers, just get into your breathing more, because I know you guys are asking questions. What's the breathing all about? Breathing is done through activation to its conditions. So breathing is the most important thing because you're fluctuating line centers to all levels of your flux capacitor to its line condition. All right? You come into the breathing. All right? Go into that position to its connection. Breathe. Breathe. All right, so get the ground line center and conditions to its position. This is basically more for the new beginners that activate their system. All right, so you need the grounds of breathing. Okay? Now, think of the flux capacitor as connections of you through center line center of your dimension. It's opening up realms and realms and realms of location. Okay? But you're breathing every single time you're traveling. Okay? Now, once you understand, you have to come into your clocking system. Let's get into the basic understanding what the clock is to line connections. What is the clock? Why do we need it? Well, why do you have a watch? So you can tell time, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right? There's a clocking system. Okay? The GFLs can catch up. They understand this, the position, but it's always good to know through review. All right? There's a clock right there. That's you through center of all level. Okay? What you do through travels of shapes. It's all done through your connections of your Merkabahs, everything your high levels of your tesseract and your tetrahedrons. So the clocking system in position. Now, I've done this before, but I'll do this again. Okay, the clocking system is you. Okay, you guys have a compass, you understand how to use your compass. Well, understanding the compass is you inside, because that's what your water is, right? So, sideways, like that. All right, so you get the little hand like this. This is the sun, and the big hand is the moon. We start off with that line conditions. All right? Little hand is the sun, and the big hand is the moon. All right? So you have to understand why you're wearing a watch. Okay, it's all connected to your sea levels of dimensional clock system. And the middle that goes around, tick, 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 is you through travel. Every time you go around the clock, every second on second per second, every 60 seconds into a minute, basically vortex you through connection. And because you're not aware of these things, right? So you got to be cautious on your thoughts every second on second per second to 60 seconds per minute. All right, so you go around through line center like this location. All right, that's what you understand. You come in this position, right? You start off with that. Okay, it goes around and around and around and around. So once the sun comes in position to use your calculations to the moon, all three come into a shape of 3, 6, and 9. That's how it sets up, 3, 6, 9. It spins, 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 and it comes into a shape of your triangle line center. Okay? I was describing the 9-year made you. Yep. Carmen, how's it going? Great to see you. All right, so when you come in that position, you come into your 3, 6, 9. Once it spins, 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 and the sun understands you through the ground system, you come into your 3, 6, 9. Okay? You come into your 3, 6, 9. All right? So once that's set up, the 3, 6, 9 comes in position. All right? So you have to truly understand how to travel through the 3, 6, 9. Everybody comes into the triangles of themselves, which is its connections to its third eye. That's the beginning. Okay? So what do you think the eye is? Anybody want to take a guess what the eye is? What is the eye? What is the eye central of the triangle? What is the eye? What does the eye represent? Anybody want to take a guess? An atom. Not at the beginning. No, remember, you're just waking up. This is for people that are just waking up. The third eye central of connections is the eye of the lamp, coming from Mother Earth, the beating heart line center to its connections to alpha waves, mega, micro, macro. But the eye central line connection, okay, is your clocking system. Okay, a travel, a dimension. All right, but very good guess. So once you come in that position, it comes into your clocking system. Okay. So the clocking system eventually turns into the atom. Yes, that's true. But not right away. You have to understand all levels of light first. So it comes into this position location. All right. So in sequence, all levels of 12, all levels of 1, all levels of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 all have to come in the central line position to the timeline center rotations of the third eye track system. Okay? Now, once you get that position, you have to get into your breathings. Okay? You come into your ground line center. All right, let's go into another drawing rotation. You come into the ground line center like this. Okay, like this position. You start off with this line center. Okay? Now, you got your clocking system. Your clock is everything through dimensional travel, guys. Your 3, 6, and 9 is everything through your connections into your flux capacitor. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay? Eye channels its eye line center back in location the ground position on connections. Right? Eye of the lamp. Okay? So once it channels, it comes in electrical lights. You activate it through line conditions. Now I'm just showing you point view by point view how it's all set up. All right. Now, once you come into that position, your third eye comes into high levels of dimension of the locked system of security defense. Into security line condition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-dimensional line center locations. That's going to get complicated, but try to understand how it's positioned to the clock system, right? And that's where you have to get into your positions of your time zones. Okay? Time zones are very important. Okay? So, all right, let's see here. Let me see, getting your questions here. Is that the crown chakra? No, that's not the crown chakra. That's not given to you until you understand the sun track system. And the ground line center is your root chakra. Okay, in position, that's program interference. You have to stand, there's 12, yes, 7 within the body, okay, and 5 within the atmosphere of conscious level system. But what you have to understand, you need the grounds. Grounds and then the roots. Okay, so without the roots, you don't have the grounds. So without the grounds, you don't have a root. Okay, so it's like having an apple without a stem. It's like having an apple without a seed. So the ground line center is in position. It comes into the roots. These are the roots. These are the roots. You need the roots, but you need the ground. This is the ground. These are the roots. You need the ground first, not the roots. Ground first, then the roots. See the roots? So when you pull grass, what are you doing? You're pulling the ground and you're pulling the roots up, right? You see the little roots? Those are the roots. Misinformed. Pay attention. All right, so when you come in that position, you stand the ground line center. It communicates all levels of size graph line conditions. High positions your forces to all position location to its track system. Okay? So once you come into the roots, you come to higher level rotation. Then you come into high formation line systems into your, you guessed it, you come into your tree. There you go. Tree is starting to high line center. See the tree? Right? The tree of life. Okay? So you need the grounds. Without the grounds, you can't take off. Right? So it's trying to understand. Misinform you guys. All right? The chakra system is the communication. That is your transponder, but you have to understand how to use the fluctuation interference and everything through your flux capacitors first. Okay, so once you open that line conditions, it opens up the high levels of branches of your tree. It's very fascinating when you see these things. So everything through the tree, when it blossoms, is the galaxy. Okay? Let's go in position here. Okay. Comes into the galaxy. All right. One step at a time. So what's in the center line center? What's in the center line center? The eye circle. It's the center operation line conditions. So when you come in that positions, you guys are trying to understand more, right? That's great. So you know how you see a tree stump? When you see realms and realms and realms, well, this is your ancestry of travel. You cut a tree in half, this is what you see. This is the grounds. First, you have to understand what it is on each round line center. That's what you see in a tree stump. It's not a root, is it? Understanding the realms of youth, the dimensions of time, guys. Coming into your tree. All right, is it all clicking in now? So it's trying to understand you through the tree. Tree of life, clocking system, 3, 6, and 9. All positions of you through all connections. All right, that's a true understanding that you have to understand the little hand, the big hand, and you in the center position of travels. 60 seconds within that conditions. So every minute on the minute, you're vortexing through your thoughts. So the creation line center rotation positions activates all core line centers to you to the mind line system. Okay? So would that be the auric field? The auric field, that's a toric line center. Okay, so all positions here, you go with your tree format position location, right? Once you come into that, you come into high levels. Okay, it's a high line energy light system rotation. It's an orb. Okay, that is the toric field. Is the orb line center. Okay, the torical line interference channel towards line conditions. High positions you to all levels of travel rotation. Okay? So, auric field is the positions to the toric fields. Okay, so you got the male and the female aspect of line conditions. That's a true understanding of how you come into 369 platforms. It activates all levels of the tree stump to the realm line center rotations to all levels of clocking systems. Okay, within its 60 seconds, which is connected to its minute, right? So that's a true understanding when you come into that. But the first thing that you come into is your breathing. Okay? There you go. That's great visual, the tree stump. Well, that's exactly what it is. You cut the tree in half, you know exactly what it is, right? This is the grounds you guys start with. All right? You start in the center. You don't start with the outside line system. You start within the center and then you grow. So your job is to go from here out. Okay? That's where you're born, the center line center. And if you look closely, you'll see it's your heart. Hoo-ah. All right, so we got in that line conditions, didn't we? So once you get into that, breathing should, let's see here. Get any questions? Breathing should ground you. Then you open the crown chakra connection to source, right? Yeah. You need your grounds first. You have to understand the ground of you first. You go into position of your powers, you come into the atmospheres. The central line system is line center rotation. See, this is what it is through calculations. So now you know what the tree stump is. Okay? Everybody has a tree stump. That tree stump is your heart line center to Mother Earth. All right? So you have the grounds, you have the powers, and you have the atmosphere. That's where you start. Right there. Okay? Now, once the realm understands you, understand all levels of central line center in line connections, you travel out of the tree stump location. Once you go to that positions, this is where it comes into the yin and yang of your DNA. Okay? Wow, look at this. This comes into its DNA, see? The fish of rotation. All right? See the intelligence? Do you see the intelligence? Do you see the DNA? So once it comes into its DNA track line center, it sets up its grid locations to its line connection. All right? It opens up all level rotation to your connections, to high positions to your E-field line rotation. Okay? Once you come into that position, you automatically come out of the tree stump. Let's go into higher line center here. Go into the tree stump, and basically you come into high levels of your flux capacitor. It opens up all levels of your rotation. All right? So the roots become the flux capacitor. Ooh, interesting how we go through these connections. All done through your seed activation. All right, so once that goes in position, now, informed line center to the ground line center rotation opens up all levels of the ground conditions. So you got that open through rotations. Now you come into the power of the seat of the soul, which is the mothership. Okay, that is the focal point. That is the center operation to all locations. Let's go into line conditions here. All right, that is the rotation. All right, now, once you come into that, you high position line centers into calculations to your heart line center rotation. Okay, and once you come into that, you come into the line strain rotation into the mind line center. Once you come into that, you come into your crown chakra location. That's how it starts, the high line center, all done through tree format and high connection. Okay? See the intelligence? All right. So once you go into that position, once the magnetic line center is open through location, it goes back down in the center of the seat of the soul in 3 line centers. 3 line centers is set up through line center rotation, which puts you into Orion's belt. You come into your past, present, and future. All right, so that activates the sonar line center locations. All right, light signal rotations went on. Colorations are changing. I'm communicating to electrical light. Outside rotation. Okay, so once it goes into that connections, it comes back down and sets up your activations of your chakras. So let's go into round line rotation centers. All right, so go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so once the 7 is set up like this in rotation, okay, see how it's coming into the light? All right, so those are your 7 track line centers. So that sets up its flux capacitor, gets information to the magnetic line center, like this through Lloyd connections. High forces its channels into the galaxy. Okay? Once it comes into galaxy line center, it sets up your magnetic line center rotation, like this through traction. Okay? Once it sets that up, it comes back down to the center, opens up the seat of the soul. Okay, it comes back into the grounds. 1, 2, 3. The ground has to understand you through the past, present, and its future. Okay? All right? So once then the ground understands you through your rainbow activation, it opens up all channels of TV reception line center. Let's go in line conditions here. All right. Okay. Fascinating, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. It's the DNA strand. Very good. See that light signal? See that? Watch it split. See? What light does, it's amazing. See that dot? See that dot? See that white dot? That's me traveling through high level rotation, guys. Right? That's me traveling. So, it's trying to understand how this is all set up, guys. Okay? Get a true understanding how powerful we are when we understand the tree of life and its DNA, to its connections, to its chakra system, okay, to all levels of high rotation. All right? Interesting, isn't it? That's how I channel when I run. All seeing eye of Horus, yep. But it is a DNA strand, yep. All right. So, is everybody having fun? I'm having a lot of fun. So, whoa, it's an hour and a half. It's great. So, it's my first time being live. It's fantastic to see you guys on my phone. I'll keep you updated on what's going on. All right, if I'm going to be doing it on the computer or if I'm going to be doing it on my phone app. Okay, but now I'm going to head over to TikTok live. All right, hope you guys have a great day. Questions or comments, let me know. Go through my email. All right, adios.